How you doing? It's Rob WOG. Now I'm gonna do part 2 of why I'm vegan, right? And I'm gonna try and do it really quick, and because I'm gonna do it 10 minutes long, right? Because I just noticed I just did a video of it, and for some reason my computer's not letting me go over 18 minutes when I'm recording. So I'm gonna do 10 minutes and then another 10 minutes. So I'm gonna start real quick. So we left off at fucking primary school and church, how it's bullshit getting shoved into your face in the brain. Anyway, so I want to step back a bit further back and talk about, alright, so this is funny because when I was a kid, my mum had this, like, it looked like a fucking toast rack, full of these 7-inch records. And for me, as a kid, I was like, wow, these black things play music. What the fuck? That's amazing. So I was about I think I was about 4. So I fucking grabbed these records and I hid them in my room and I kept them. They were mine. I was like, they're mine, yoink. And so I got introduced to music, like, real young, and I fucking loved it. I fell in love with music. Some reason, it played the right heartstrings on my heart, and I fucking love it until this day. Music's my life. A big part of my life. It's not my life, it's just a big part of my life. So anyway, so then I'm the youngest of 4. I had 2 older brothers and an older sister, the sister being the oldest, and they would bring home records. And I didn't really hang out with my brothers and my sister. We just didn't, I think we were just different. So I didn't really hang out with them. So they would buy these records, come home, and they would leave, and I would sneak into their room, grab the fucking record, go tape it, right? Even as a kid, I knew what the fuck was going on. I knew how to tape shit. I'll tape it, go put it back in their room so they didn't think I was fucking with their room. And I remember they brought home shit like Judas Priest Stained Class, fucking, Killing Machine, Judas Priest, and like Rainbow, and just these killer fucking records. And I just fell in love. I was like, wow, this is the shit. So now I'm going to go forward again. That was my introduction to music. Now, I'm not a metalhead. I love metal. I'm Lizzie Shaw. But my thing is, I'm a music head. I don't give a fuck about one genre. I like fucking, if I like music, if I like it, I fucking like it. I don't give a fuck what style of music it is. Hence, there's probably only 2 styles of music I can't stand. And I'm not saying I'll never like one of the songs coming from this genre. I just haven't heard one yet, which is full-blown hardcore techno. Fucking hate it. And is it dubstep? I don't know. I think dubstep's a bit, I don't know. It's not something I listen to. I just think hardcore techno is a piece of shit. But anyway, let's go back to the point. So music struck a chord on my heart. Love music. Then I go to high school. And I'm not going to get into high school because high school is just the same as primary school. It's just bullshit getting thrown at your throat. I hated it. I only lasted a couple of years. I got kicked out. But when I was at high school, I used to bring a boombox and listen to heavy metal during the break periods. And these 2 dudes that were into heavy metal came over and be like, hey, you're into heavy metal. So we bonded. They became my 2 best mates. Then I ended up being in bands with these guys, and fucking in the 80s I ended up playing in a thrash band with this guy, who ended up being Necrotomy, I was in Conqueror, and we just had a ball. So I had a connection with music. Now, why I'm bringing up the music part is because it brings me to the next bit. Then we'd listen to the radio and we'd hear that there's these gigs on. We were fucking young, man. We were like 13, 14 or something. We were young and we were like, fuck, let's go to these things called gigs. Now, back then there was heavy metal bands, but there wasn't as much heavy metal. They went on all the time. So, but what there was a lot of was punk. So we would go to these punk gigs. These kids going to punk gigs, like getting fucking stoned and pissed, and go in and then fucking mosh with these punks. And they were awesome. The thing about the music scene back then, if you were a metal band or a punk band or a glam metal band, they all played together. They didn't give a fucking shit. They just liked getting pissed and playing fucking tough, good music. So that was me, and I felt there was 2 bands that I just fell in love with. Right, I used to go see bands like Gash, Depression, God, Arm the Insane, all the Vicious Circle, all these great bands. And we were lucky because we were so far away from the other places on the planet. You know, we're lucky to have these bands because if we didn't have it, I don't think I would have turned out as like I probably have today. And I am proud of what I've turned out to be because I don't think I'm a cunt. But anyway, but I think that helped shape me, these punk bands. And the two bands in particular were Depression and Gash. Now, if you've never heard them before, check them out. There should be some stuff on YouTube. Check them out because their lyrics, for a young kid, they really hit home. Like they were really political. So they weren't just music singing about, wizards and demons, which was cool to me too, but it wasn't real like that to me. Punk was just like, fuck it in your fucking face. This is what's going on. You fucking better watch out because we're rising up. We're going to fuck you up. That's what it was to me. So, we were going to these gigs all the time. So then the guitarist of Depression also played in Gash, by the way. He played drums in Gash. But they invited us to their house one day, this place called Hardcore House, which is a fucking amazing. So us young kids would fucking, get trains and shit and go all the way. We were on the other side of the city, so we would fucking hike for like an hour and a half to go to this house and party with them. And we'd take acid and, mushrooms and shit and get high and just listen to awesome music, And I was wrapped because I do remember, back then Smear used to put music on and he wouldn't just put punk on. He would put like Hendrix, put Jimi Hendrix on, and he would put like all sorts of good music. So he wasn't just a punk that just listened to Conflict and stuff like that, which, those bands are great, but he had an open mind. So this is where it hits home, because then I find out he's vegetarian. I'm like, oh, okay, vegetarian, all right, cool. So I never knew a vegetarian. And the other band, Gash, Liz, who was living at Hardcore House at the time, I think they were dating maybe at that time. But anyway, she was vegetarian too, and I had a massive crush on Liz. Like, for real, that was my first, chick band crush was from Gash, Liz. She was vegetarian, and these people were fucking such cool dudes. Hippies, punk hippies. And I think I'm a hippie. I'm a real hippie, I'm not that sort of hippie that pretends to fucking care for the environment and, wears fucking, hippie clothes and thinks they're a hippie because they do that. No, I'm a real hippie. Like, I do believe in love and I do believe in being nice to people. But if you hit me, I'm not going to just go, I'll fucking hit you back. I don't give a fuck, right? I'm a hippie, right? A modern hippie. And I think they shaped me into that. So that's where I first heard of the word vegetarian. And then I started, I was a bit interested in it. So then I'm going to go into this other thing where I'm going to talk about growing up. We started playing in bands and stuff, and we started getting in the drugs and stuff, and it was cool. I don't, you hear all these bad things about drugs, and there is bad things about everything. But I never had a bad experience on drugs in my teen years. I had a great experience. It opened my mind. I had a good time. I'm not telling you to go and take drugs. I'm just saying that if you're a smart person, you can take them, in the right way and not be a dickhead about it. So we used to get stoned and, get some speed and watch fucking horror movies all fucking night. Because when you're a metalhead and, you're listening to extreme music, you want to watch extreme shit, so we would watch horror movies. The goriest shit we could find. Now this is where it comes into where I did make a change in my diet. So we would go to the video store, these things we used to have called video stores. We'd go there and we'd hire the fucking goriest flick and we'd watch it and be going, oh, look at that, But in amongst all that, we saw these videotapes up there and we're like, oh, we try and outgore each other. We'd all pick one and the one I picked was gorier. And I remember one of us, I don't know who picked it, but one of us picked this documentary called Faces of Death. Wow. Now, I'm old. I'm 44 this month. And when I turn 44, 22 years vegan. I'll be 22 years vegan. But anyway, so back then, I couldn't believe that a teenager could go into a store and just get this this horror like this. It was a documentary on real gore, like real shit, like people being beheaded and just like bombs exploding and then people going in with cameras and filming the gore, and it was brutal. So brutal. But anyway, in amongst all this, there was 5 of them. I think there was 5, videos of it. And in amongst it, once we watched that, we were like, let's go back. I don't know what makes people do this. Like, we were like, oh, that's fucked. But then we were like, let's go to the video store and get the rest. So we did. High as fuck watching these things. And then all of a sudden, this it goes to a slaughterhouse of pigs being slaughtered. And amongst all that human gore, and then clip into that, I was just like, oh, fuck. Like, it didn't make much difference to me. It was still brutal. So I was just like, oh, man, this is fucking killing me. And I think that's where the first time I made a link. I made a link to what was supposed to be food to what I think wasn't. I think was murder. I watched these dudes slitting the throats of pigs, hanging them upside down, and making them bleed out of their throats. And that was supposed to make me hungry. Because that's what it should be doing. If I'm a meat eater, if I'm a carnivore, that's what it should be doing. I should be drooling from the mouth going, that makes me hungry. Because that's what carnivores do. It didn't make me do that. Right? So I'm going to stop it here, and then I'm going to go to another, because it's only going to let me do 10 minutes. And then I'm going to continue on. All right. I'll see you on the next one.